All right, Principles of Engineering, welcome back. This is Intro to Manufacturing Processes. This will be Activity 2.2.2, so this follows material properties. So make sure you're watching these in order. So let's go ahead and get into this. Basically, the purpose of this is to introduce you to different types of processes used in manufacturing and the creation of the products that we analyzed in the previous activity. So if you're on your Canvas page, this is what you'll see. All you have to do is, once we go through this PowerPoint, is investigate the manufacturing processes used to create the component that you modeled in Activity 2.2.1. So whatever you chose last assignment will be used for this. You're going to create an electronic illustration outlining the processes used. All right, that could be like a PowerPoint or a poster if you would like to. And then cite the sources that assisted you in identifying that process. So what is the process? How does it work? Okay, what raw materials? All right, so the PowerPoint, we'll go ahead and open that up. Now bear with me, I'm not going to hit every slide. I'm not going to go into detail much because there's a lot of them. But all these here, if you Google it, you'll be able to get much more information on what it is. So product creation cycle is that for something to be built, first it has to be designed. After we design it, then we choose the materials that we're going to utilize. All right, it's not the other way around. Based off your design is how you decide what materials you're going to need. All right, once you choose the materials, what is the process selection? All right, so you need to decide where you're going to get those materials from. How are they going to be manufactured? What are your inspection criteria? All right, if you're making a cheap product, maybe you don't have as high standards, whereas maybe something more fine-tuned, pistons for a F1 car, all right, a Formula One racing car, the pistons need to be like perfect. So that would be an example, different inspection. And then feedback is the end, and then based off your feedback, you redesign, okay? So that's how we create new and improved products for people to buy. So your typical product cost breakdown is about 40% of your cost is actual manufacturing. Administration, sales, marketing, 25%. The engineering is about 15%, and then 20% profit. So there's some money for you. All right, so a sequence of operations and processes designed to create a specific product. That is what manufacturing process is. So a sequence of operations. So here we have the, why am I blanking? Movable assembly line. There we go. Here we have donuts and I think what looks to be medicine or something like that. So, but manufacturing, the process of mass production. So it's the process of turning materials into the product. So different types of engineers within manufacturing is the manufacturing engineer. So they select and coordinate specific processes. So say you need a material to be formed a certain way, this would be the engineer that would determine what processes would be required. Your industrial engineer is responsible for the manufacturing system design. So they would be responsible for taking the processes and then developing the machines and things to execute it. And then material engineers, one second.
Chris McCaffrey, can you report to the main office, please? Chris McCaffrey to the main office. Thank you.
All right, material engineers develop and select materials based on what we need. So those are your three different types of engineers that work in manufacturing. Okay, so manufacturing system designs, you have different things. Job shops would be more like the lab that I'm in, or small shops that build small quantities, different products. So this might be a department within a company that's like research and developing. All right, you're not going to use these to create mass production of items. It's like create a prototype. Flow shop, all right, larger quantities of products, production line, special purpose machines. So like here we have boxes being made and bottles being formed and filled. A linked cell is where manufacturing sub-assembly cells connect to the final assembly. So you might have some person in the assembly line building the motor, some person building transmission. Eventually those meet together and get put into the car itself. All right. Project shop would be like a shipyard. All right, so building a massive project like that, bridges, airplanes, things like that. Continuous process for manufacturing would be like large plants, so like creation of oil, gas. All right, you build the plant once and then it's used to produce the same materials over and over and over. Lean manufacturing would be 100% good, units flow from process to process, integrated quality control. So this is, you have the manufacturing process, but a little more focus on quality control. Instead of just building the item and then someone else checks it for quality, everybody in the inspection process is checking for quality. Okay. Basic manufacturing processes, we have casting and foundry, forming and metalworking, machining, joining and assembly, rapid prototyping, and others. So we're going to go into those briefly. Casting and foundry is exactly what it sounds like. All right, molten metal, pour it into molds. There's your foundry. All right, and then those molds, the metal then is cooled to form what we need. All right, basic casting, so a mold is created. We then fill that with molten material until it solidifies. You have multiple use molds and you have single use molds. Multiple use molds would be something for like injection molding, whereas single use molds could be like I could create a single use mold with my 3D printer. And then afterwards it would not be used. So material is heated to a specified temperature, and